Here are the 12 weird taboos in ancient Babylon. Number 1. The sacred fish diet. The Babylonians, who loved their fish so much they decided some were too holy to eat. You'd think their deities moonlighted as underwater chefs. Only priests could get a taste. Talk about a holy mackerel. Imagine the ancient fishermen hauling in their catch, only to toss the holiest ones back. Not this one, it's sacred. The fish must have felt like lottery winners. Babylonian priests must have had the best fish fries. Everyone else was stuck with common carp while priests enjoyed their divine delicacies. Breaking this taboo could land you in hot water, literally. You'd face a trial by water, hoping the sacred fish god didn't get too steamed about your snack. Fish markets must have been full of drama. Sorry, ma'am, this one's off limits. No, seriously, it's against divine dietary restrictions. Imagine hosting a dinner party and realizing you accidentally served sacred fish. Cue the awkward silence and the sudden need to appease a very angry deity. Babylonian priests probably had their own secret fish society. Bet their meetings smelled fantastic, but were super exclusive. Picture this, you're on a date in Babylon, and they serve you a fish. You suddenly panic, whispering, "Is this the holy one or just a regular sea swimmer?" Their gods had quite the taste, literally. It's like having your diet dictated by a Michelin-starred deity. Only the finest for me, thank you. The fish must have felt so special, swimming around, knowing they were the chosen ones, until someone broke the taboo and they ended up as dinner anyway. Number 2. The curse of the left hand. If you thought left-handed folks had it rough today, try being a southpaw in ancient Babylon. They were seen as sinister, literally. It's where the word sinister actually comes from, Latin for left. Lefties had to learn to be ambidextrous or face the wrath of society. Imagine trying to eat your sacred fish with your right hand if you were a lefty. Good luck with that. Schools must have been a nightmare for left-handed kids. "No, Timmy, not that hand," as the teacher swatted with a reed stick. Left-handedness was associated with evil omens and bad luck. So, if your crops failed, you could always blame your left-handed neighbor. Curse you, lefty. Being left-handed was like having a built-in excuse for everything that went wrong. Sorry, it wasn't me. It's this evil hand's fault. Imagine dating in Babylon. Sorry, I can't date you. You're left-handed. I'm not ready to bring bad omens into my life right now. There were probably secret left-handed clubs. Imagine the handshake. No, wait, the left shake. It wasn't just people. Even left-turning roads were avoided. Horses must have been so confused. Wait, which way is unlucky again? Potters had to be right-handed. Imagine creating a vase only to be told it's cursed because you used the wrong hand. Talk about a rough critique. On the bright side, left-handed Babylonians were great at hiding secrets. Oh, this? Just a regular scroll. Meanwhile, their left hand was crafting secret messages. Number 3. The unspoken word, priestess hair. In Babylon, priestesses had hair rules tighter than a modern-day fashionistas. Their hair was sacred, never to be cut or styled by just anyone. Hair salons for priestesses must have had god-level security. Imagine the horror if a regular citizen touched a priestess's hair. Oh no, my divine locks. You've doomed us all. Hairdressers must have been handpicked by the gods, or at least by the priests. Sorry, you're not qualified to handle holy hair. If a priestess's hair was cut improperly, it was a sign of disaster. The temples in ruins? Must be that new barber. Their hair was so sacred it was a crime to even insult it. Did you just say my hair looks frizzy? That's 10 years in the dungeon for you. Picture a priestess having a bad hair day. Instead of just a bad mood, it was a sign of the god's displeasure. The crops are failing? Sorry, must be my split ends. Priestesses had to maintain perfect hair even during rituals. One loose strand, and it was considered an omen. Quick, someone fetch the sacred comb. The hair of priestesses was often woven into talismans. Imagine carrying around someone's hair as a good luck charm. Hey, nice bracelet. Thanks, it's from my priestess. Cutting a priestess's hair was seen as a way to steal her power. So, no pressure on the barber. One wrong snip, and you've just doomed the city. Their hair was so revered that even after a priestess died, her locks were preserved. Eternal beauty, even in the afterlife. Talk about dedication. Number 4. The forbidden cow glances. In Babylon, cows were more than just livestock. They were revered to the point that staring at them for too long was considered disrespectful. Imagine getting caught in a staring contest with a cow and losing not just your dignity but also the god's favor. Farmers had to avert their gaze while milking their cows. Eyes up here, buddy. This milk isn't for gawking. Glancing too long at a cow could be seen as trying to divine secrets from the bovine. No, I wasn't looking for omens, I just really like milk. In the market, cow watchers were the weird ones. Did you see how long he stared at that cow? Total weirdo. Cows must have had the ultimate poker face. One wrong glance from a human, and suddenly, it's a sacrilegious scandal. Imagine being a shepherd and having to explain to the boss why you're not making eye contact with the herd. Sorry, it's a taboo thing. You wouldn't get it. Artists had to be careful about drawing cows. Too much detail, and it was considered improper. No, it's not a portrait. It's an abstract bovine representation. Even in religious ceremonies, looking at cows had strict rules. One glance and you're out of the temple, buddy. It wasn't just direct glances, even peripheral vision counted. Did you just side-eye that cow? We're in big trouble now. The cows, on the other hand, must have felt pretty important. Yep, keep walking. Nothing to see here. Just a holy cow living its best life. Number 5. The Forbidden Zone. Temple roofs. In ancient Babylon, climbing onto a temple roof was a major no-no. It's like the ultimate keep-off sign, but with divine consequences. No, really, get down from there, or you'll anger the gods. It wasn't just about respect. It was believed the gods could strike you down if you trespassed. Is that thunder? Nope, just someone on the temple roof again. Imagine being a roofer in Babylon. Yeah, I fix everything except temple roofs. Not worth the lightning bolts. Kids had to find somewhere else to play hide and seek. No, Timmy, you can't hide on the temple roof. That's just asking for trouble. If you were caught on a temple roof, it wasn't just a slap on the wrist. You'd be in for some serious divine retribution, or at least a hefty fine. The priests must have had the best view in town, but only they could enjoy it. Sorry, folks, rooftop access is restricted to divine personnel only. Birds were probably the only creatures allowed up there without consequences. Look at that sparrow, flaunting the rules like it's no big deal. Getting too close to the temple roof could result in a purification ritual. Great, now I have to bathe in sacred water because I got too curious. The rooftops were believed to be where the gods themselves dwelled. No pressure or anything, just the potential wrath of deities watching your every move. Architects had to be mindful of designing temple roofs. Make it inaccessible, but aesthetically pleasing. We don't want any accidental smitings. Number 6. The unmentionable. Wearing purple. Purple was the color of royalty and divine favor in ancient Babylon. Wearing it without the right status was a big no-no. Imagine accidentally wearing a purple tunic and suddenly being accused of high treason. What? This old thing? It's just a fashion statement. If you weren't royalty or a high-ranking priest, wearing purple was seen as trying to usurp divine favor. Nice try, buddy. That color's reserved for the gods' favorites. Tailors had to be extra cautious. No, I can't dye that tunic purple. You want to anger the entire priesthood? Purple dye was rare and expensive, making it even more exclusive. Sorry, purple is out of stock. Also, out of your league. Wearing purple could get you expelled from certain public places. Hey you. Yeah, the one in purple. Out you go. It was so serious that even owning purple cloth could raise suspicions. What's this? Contraband fabric? Planning a coup, are we? People had to stick to drab colors unless they were given special permission. Beige it is. At least I won't get arrested. Royalty flaunted their purple garments to remind everyone who was in charge. Just a casual purple robe to show I'm literally divine. Purple garments were handed down carefully. This belonged to my great-grandfather, a high priest. No, you can't borrow it for your costume party. Even being caught admiring purple fabrics too much could get you in trouble. Move along. Nothing to see here. Definitely not planning to challenge the king. Number 7. The taboo of the untouched food. In Babylon, sharing food was a sign of trust and friendship. Refusing to share or not touching offered food was seen as deeply offensive. What? You don't like my cooking? That's sacrilege. Rejecting food was like rejecting the host's hospitality and, by extension, the gods. Sorry, I can't eat that. I don't want to offend Marduk. Imagine being a picky eater in Babylon. Do you have any idea how hard it is to avoid divine wrath and food poisoning at the same time? Offering food was a sacred act, so refusing was akin to blasphemy. No thanks, I'm full was not an acceptable excuse. Food offerings at religious ceremonies had to be eaten completely. No leftovers allowed. Better finish that sacred stew or else. Being too selective could get you labeled as disrespectful. Oh, you don't like lentils? Guess you don't like our gods either. Even if you were allergic, you had to at least pretend to eat. Yep, just chewing this sacred nut, and definitely not swelling up. The fear of offending with food meant everyone became a culinary diplomat. Sure, I'll have some more. I always wanted to try sheep's stomach. Regifting food was a big taboo too. Wait, isn't this the sacred bread I gave you last week? Food disputes could escalate quickly. You didn't eat my offering? That's it. We're no longer friends. Also, prepare to face divine consequences. Number 8. The forbidden fruit of knowledge. In Babylon, certain fruits were believed to contain divine knowledge and were off-limits to common folk. Is this an apple of wisdom or just a regular apple? Better not risk it. Eating these fruits without permission could result in severe punishment. Caught red-handed with a sacred pomegranate? That's a one-way ticket to exile. The fruits were often used in rituals, and only priests could partake. No, really, these aren't for snacking. They're for summoning divine wisdom. Imagine accidentally eating one and suddenly knowing too much. Oops, now I know the secrets of the universe. What do I do with this info? Forbidden fruits were kept under lock and key. Sorry, the divine produce section is closed to the public. It wasn't just about eating them. Even touching these fruits could be seen as sacrilege. Hands off the sacred figs, buddy. The fruits were believed to confer wisdom, so naturally, everyone wanted a bite. One nibble, and I could ace the priesthood exams. Secret fruit-eating societies probably existed, meeting in the dead of night to share bites of forbidden fruit. Quick, pass the sacred pear before we get caught. Even speaking about these fruits inappropriately could get you in trouble. Did you just make a joke about the sacred apricot? Blasphemer. Farmers who grew these fruits had the most secure orchards. Trespassers will be prosecuted and possibly smited. Number 9. The untouchable priestess. Priestesses in Babylon were revered and untouchable, literally. Touching a priestess was considered a major offense. No, seriously, keep your hands to yourself. Even accidental touches could be seen as a serious breach of decorum. I swear, I just brushed against her by accident. This rule made everyday interactions quite tricky. Sorry, I can't shake your hand. I'm a priestess. It's complicated. Guarding priestesses must have been a stressful job. Step back, buddy. No touching the divine ones. Touching a priestess without permission could lead to severe penalties. You touched a priestess? That's 10 years of community service in the temple. The untouchability extended to their belongings. Don't even think about borrowing her sacred comb. Social gatherings must have had strict no-touch zones around priestesses. This area is off-limits. No mingling with the holy ones. Even animals had to be kept away from priestesses. Keep that dog on a leash. He can't sniff the priestess. The untouchable status added an air of mystery and reverence. I wonder what it's like to be so holy no one can touch you. Touching a priestess was believed to transfer divine energy, which was not something you could handle casually. Whoa, I think I just absorbed some divine power. What now? Number 10. The forbidden whistle. Whistling indoors in Babylon was a big no-no. It was believed to summon evil spirits. Put those lips away, or you'll bring in the bad vibes. People believed whistling could call upon malevolent forces. Is that a catchy tune, or a call to the underworld? Whistling in sacred spaces was especially taboo. No whistling in the temple unless you want a very angry god to join in. Imagine being a whistler by habit. Every time I whistle, something bad happens. Coincidence? I think not. Whistling at night was considered the worst. Great, now we're all cursed because you couldn't stop at dusk. Even accidental whistling could make people nervous. Did you hear that? Quick, grab the protective talismans. Whistling was thought to disrupt the harmony of the environment. Nice job, you've just unbalanced the cosmic scales. Musicians had to be careful with wind instruments. Nope, not a whistle. Just my sacred flute. Totally different. The fear of whistling was so strong. Some people refused to even hum a tune. Silent nights are the safest nights. Those who ignored the taboo were considered reckless. You whistled? Prepare for a lecture on why we don't tempt fate. Number 11. The curse of the unwashed hands. Cleanliness was next to godliness in Babylon. Not washing your hands was seen as inviting disaster. Forgot to wash up? Better start praying. Priests had elaborate hand-washing rituals before any ceremony. Lather, rinse, repeat. The gods demand squeaky clean. Not washing your hands before eating was practically heresy. You want to eat that sacred bread with dirty hands? Unbelievable. Imagine being a kid in Babylon. No, you can't skip washing up. The gods are watching. Hand washing wasn't just about hygiene. It was a sacred duty. Clean hands, pure soul. That's the mantra. Neglecting this practice could get you socially ostracized. Don't sit next to him. He doesn't wash his hands. Public places had designated hand-washing stations. No excuses. There's a basin right there. The importance of clean hands extended to personal relationships. Sorry, I can't date you. You're a known non-hand washer. Festivals had special hand-washing ceremonies. Join us as we cleanse ourselves and avoid divine wrath. Travelers carried portable hand-washing kits. Got to stay clean on the road. You never know when the gods are watching. Number 12. The forbidden name. In ancient Babylon, certain names were forbidden from casual use, especially the names of gods. Nope, you can't name your kid after Marduk. It's just asking for trouble. Uttering a god's name outside of a ritual could be seen as disrespectful. Did you just say Ishtar's name in vain? Prepare for divine backlash. Naming conventions were strictly followed to avoid offending the deities. Sorry, that name's taken by a higher power. Even scribes had to be careful when writing sacred names. One slip of the pen, and you've committed sacrilege. Naming your pet after a god? Forget about it. Nice dog. What's his name? Oh no. You named him after the storm god? Big mistake. People avoided even casual mentions of divine names. We call him the big guy upstairs to stay on the safe side. The forbidden names were used only in sacred contexts. Nope, can't tell you the name. It's for rituals only. Children were taught early on about the power of names. Remember, never say the names unless you're in the temple. Punishments for breaking this taboo were severe. Caught saying a god's name inappropriately? That's a one-way trip to the temple dungeon. This practice ensured the names retained their power and reverence. By keeping the names sacred, we keep the gods happy and us alive. These weird taboos in ancient Babylon show just how deeply their beliefs and daily lives were intertwined.